Hey guys, time for another Bearded Wonder Explains. This time we are looking at anarcho-capitalism, which is a fancy way of saying no government involved in anything. So, one of the solutions of anarcho-capitalists, and it's worth pointing out that this is one solution kind of on one extreme. We're going to talk about the two extremes in a set of videos here, anarcho-capitalism and communism. There are a ton of solutions that try to incorporate elements of both. So anarcho-capitalists basically look at this opportunity cost. In other words, do I want cheap stuff and lots of it, or do I want positive social benefits, cheap or better wages for employees, better environmental practices, whatever. And they basically say the way that we can do this, if we're going to have to make this decision anyway, let's just get the government out of it and let people decide. In other words, do I want cheap stuff or do I want good conditions? Well, I pick that by who I do business with. So the company that creates tons of pollution is going to create cheap things, and I can buy things from them if I want to. The company that uses green environmental practices is going to have to charge me more for it because it's going to cost them more to clean up their act, literally, and I can choose to buy from them as well. Let's look at a real-world example, not with environmentalism, but with wages, the amount of money that people pay for something. Well, we've got McDonald's, right? And their food is generally speaking cheap, and it's provided at a low price. They also don't pay their people as much compared to Chick-fil-A, who offers a very competitive wage, usually far above what the minimum wage is. Now, what Chick-fil-A has decided is, since it's paying its people more, it's also going to ask them to do more. Have you ever noticed that the McDonald's employees don't typically say "my pleasure," especially when you say, "Hey, I spilled my drink. Could you go get me a napkin so that I can clean it up?" They don't normally say "my pleasure." They're not smiling as much. And so Chick-fil-A has basically taken this way of paying their employees more as a way to increase the buyer experience, which is really trying to provide a better product than what their competition, in this case McDonald's, is providing, which is their way of trying to address this kind of market, or to create a market imbalance that makes them not more competitive, but actually more successful as a business. The anarcho-capitalist says, well, if these kind of solutions come up in all kinds of businesses where they're competing, and one of the things that they compete with is to provide better products, or literally to market to buyers, hey, this is a clean energy option. Tesla, for example, has done a lot to do that. Right? But also trying to provide different products. Hey, you're not going to need to stop at gas stations. You have storage space in the front and the back of the car. It's simpler to fix things, all of that kind of stuff. And so anarcho-capitalists say basically this is how we can leave it up to people, and we can trust that the things that we want anyway, like higher wages, are going to happen because companies, the market, is going to find solutions for it. We don't need the government to do it. We'll just let people make their own decisions. Now, a couple of caveats to this. This only works if companies value responsible policies. In other words, they have to want to pay people more money, which they may not want to do. Although in our example here with Chick-fil-A, they probably found a way where they actually made it work for themselves. Which really also requires that people make economic decisions based on beliefs other than value. And when I say value here, I mean getting the something for the lowest cost, right? In other words, sometimes people have to be willing to pay more money in order to get the same thing, because they see the opportunity cost as being the money rather than the opportunity cost being damage to the environment or whatever. It's an open question whether we can trust these two things to happen, and they both kind of go together, right? Like if buyers value Their beliefs, they're basically going to buy things from companies doing responsible business policies, and that's going to lead to an increase in sales, which is going to kind of affect the market anyway. People are literally choosing what they consider to be responsible rather than what they consider to be valuable. This was basically a theme of a discussion board that we had a couple of weeks ago. Anarcho-capitalists believe that this system can work. There are a lot of other people who do not believe that it will work and believe that other solutions are necessary. We'll talk about them next. That's it for us today. Hope you have a good day.